pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll start with our council activity reports. I don't have any committee meetings to report on. Nothing there. A little bit of activity. I'm going to keep it kind of vague, and if we need more details, we can talk about how we go from there. But the council did meet in closed session a few months ago to talk about some threatened litigation. There was another demand letter sent on that a couple of weeks ago. Talked about it with the attorney. Just some concerns with how the police department was doing their job. I spoke with the chief, we talked to the attorney. I have the utmost support of the department and don't believe that anything was done wrong. If the council thinks we need to do it further, we can certainly talk about getting Sam in for a closed session, but unless and until something is filed, I think this is just an empty threat and we should just move on. So that's what I've got there. Otherwise, I'm working, or I'm stewing on the idea for a little bit of a project. So Mike, since I've got you in the room, and Dan, if you guys could send me like 2 or 3 things that your departments did last year that you're kind of proud of, or things that went well, I'd appreciate it. Let me know. I'm going to put something together, sort of like a recap. At least that's what's stewing in my head. So, Paul.
All I have is a liquor board meeting, and that was at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Megan.
I had the library board meeting. We did not have a quorum, so we just kind of had a basic discussion, did not take votes on anything. But we're just moving forward, looking into funding sources for a library, build, and we are stewing on whether or not we should, when we should involve the public with having like a public discussion and input session. So we're gonna look at that sometime soon.
All right. Neil.
All I had was Public Works at 5 o'clock, and we welcomed a new member, Eric Burr, and we selected, I am chairman again for next year, and Jim Fralinger vice, and Dan as secretary, and we talked about an item that's on the agenda for us to look at later.
Donna.
Absolutely nothing to report.
All right. On to department heads. Dan, how are things in Public Works?
Guys took advantage of the nice weather and took the holiday lighting down today. And I'm working on irrigation contracts, soil reports, tier 2 reports, all those end of the year reports. Helping try to get everything good for audit, and Chuck and I are working on an FBO contract.
All right. Sounds great. Any questions for Dan? Okay, is there anybody here for our open forum? So I'll open it up. Okay. We have our consent agenda.
Yep. I'm here.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Ryan Alvar.
So, Mr. Alvar, if you could take the podium, let us know. So just so you know, this is our open forum period. If there's anyone here who wants to address the council on any issue before us, something you want us to be aware of, you can do so. We have up to 10 minutes. Beyond that, we'll gavel you down. We're going to keep moving on. We're not going to take any action on matters raised during the forum. Council may have questions regarding statements made or otherwise respond to it, but no vote will be taken. Anything raised may be referred to city staff. And because this is a personal thing, I'm going to turn things over to Mr. Herzberg, our Mayor Pro Tem, and I'm going to step down.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Ryan Alvar. I'm here tonight to place a limited matter on the public record. I want to inform the City Council that Mayor Sean Reinke is a named defendant in an active federal civil rights lawsuit and related appeal in the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 8th Circuit involving alleged child abuse of 2 very young children in a family court matter. For the public record, I understand the mayor is present and performing his official duties at tonight's meeting. My inquiry is limited to whether the city has received any formal notice that the mayor is unable to perform his duties due to health reasons. I'm not requesting medical details, only whether such notice has been provided to the city. I respectfully request that this statement and inquiry be reflected in the meeting minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
With that, we'll move on to our consent agenda. Includes the minutes, the vouchers, conference attendance, mileage rates, assignments. There's an update to the closing city hall for the conference, gambling, EDAP board member, and a planning board member resignation. Note, we are pulling the fire department officers. We'll take that up under new business. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as modified?
I'll move to approve that.
Or second?
Second.
Motion by Brick, seconded by Hersberg. Further discussion? Well, there is no discussion. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion carries. Okay. On to the old business, the FBO project. Jack or Dan, who wants to talk to us about that?
Yeah, I can give a quick update. Obviously, the FBO project was just getting started as we headed into the winter months. The pay request in the packet today reflects primarily just the contractor securing purchasing all the materials for the building that have been delivered to the site. So, that's pretty much the majority of this work will resume once the weather allows, as the winter progresses or as spring arrives. So, with that, there's a copy of pay request number 1 in your packet in the amount of $241,958.86.
All right, I'd entertain a motion to approve the pay estimate.
I'll make the motion to approve pay estimate number 1 in the amount of $241,958.86 to Everstrong Construction Incorporated.
I'll second.
Motion by Hersberg, seconded by Brick. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? None? Motion carries. All right, we're going to take up the fire department things right away, just because Mike has to get to a meeting in Spicer. So we'll start with the appointment of the fire department officers. It was on the consent agenda. Pulled it just because before the meeting, learned that there is a second training officer to appoint, and that's Andrew Nienaber. So the motion would be to appoint the following fire department, or the officers as listed on the action sheet, with the addition of Andrew Nienaber as the second training officer.
So moved.
Motion by Brick to approve the list of officers with the addition of Andrew Nienaber. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Thielen. Any further discussion on those? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Right. And then the other thing is page 98 of the agenda, the purchase of the pulse ox machine.
Hold on, let me get there.
Mike, anything you want us to know about this?
The one we have was getting old and it finally went kaput and, this one's a little more advanced with all the medicals we've been getting into. Waiting for ambulances coming from out of town, so we need to get something that's a little more up to date and can do more stuff that we're trained on.
Is this in the rescue truck?
Yes, it is, yep. It will be, yep.
And what does it do, or helps you breathe, or?
It does blood pressure, your heart rate, oxygen in your blood, and blood pressure.
It's like a vitals machine, basically? Okay.
Yes, yep.
Okay. And what do we need to talk about undesignated donations and what that means, or just the fact that they're there?
I think it's just there.
Okay. And then I'll move to approve the quote from Boundtree in the amount of $6,347.98 for the new pulse ox machine, with funds to come from undesignated donations.
There's a motion by Brick. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Thielen. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None, motion carries. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you all for your support.
Thanks, Mike.
Have a good night.
Yep. All right. The rest of our meeting is pretty straightforward. I will just note before I forget, if anybody has questions about Mr. Alvar, I'll talk to you out of the council record. I'm not going to pull my private work into the city business. Bylaws and review, page 22. Something that we decided to take a look at every year. I'm sorry, per diems, page 18. My arrows on my sheet are blocking my view. Yep, just taking a look, this is what we reviewed, I think it was about halfway through last year. Do we want to continue that, or do we want to change it going forward here?
Looks good to me.
Yeah, I'm okay with the way it is.
Is that a motion? Well, I guess we don't need a motion because we're just leaving it, so.
Yep.
If nobody wants anything to change, we'll move on. Bylaws, anyone want anything to update in here? I think things have been working fairly well with the bylaws that we have. I'm not particularly, I mean, we can change it if people want to, but I think it's working well.
I agree.
All right, hearing nothing, we're moving on to page 55. Do we want to set a retreat date as we have in years past?
Yes.
Wednesday, the 18th, the Green Roof Committee always meets at 9 o'clock.
So that's a bad day, is what you're saying?
So I would say the 18th probably is a no.
Thursdays are usually good for me because I don't work Wednesdays overnights. So there's a chance I'll be somewhat rested and coherent, but I mean, it's, crapshoot either way.
Just because you don't work doesn't mean you're going to be coherent.
That's what I'm saying.
The page, and look
Putting
at
that out
the
there.
dates.
I'm wide open with this.
What did you say, Donna?
What were I'm trying to scroll.
Oh, Thursday, the 19th
Of.
of February is what I
Will be
suggested.
out of the country.
Well, that's a big thing. So it looks like of February, the 18th, 19th, 23rd, or 25th. When will you?
I will be back the 24th.
Okay.
You probably don't want to do an all-day city council meeting the next day.
No, because I'll need to make up time at work.
Can we get some dates for March for our next meeting?
Do we have something, what do we have scheduled in March, a working session? We have something.
We do. Can we just
Can we
put them all
combine them?
together?
We've done that? I think we've done that in the past.
We have.
Right now, that's at 6 o'clock at night, but you certainly can do it from 8 to midnight if you like.
I mean,
Oh,
I'm
If you
game.
want to start it early. You have it scheduled for Wednesday, March 4th.
What about 2?
that would work for me. Does that give you enough time to sleep?
Yeah.
Wednesday, March 4th at 2 o'clock? Bring us right into our other special meeting?
I can do that. Paul?
So which one are we talking about right now? We've got two of them on here.
We have a working session already scheduled for 6 PM on Wednesday, March 4th. So if we start the retreat at 2 PM that same day, and it'll just run into the working session.
That'd be fine.
Then maybe you would want to just move it to here.
Yeah.
That's a lot for one day, isn't it?
We've done it before. You have lots of time to tell us about your feral cat solutions, Neil, don't worry.
It's actually less hours if you do your retreat, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 4 hours is less than what you've done in the past.
Yeah.
It's up to you guys. We can have it here, it'd be easy. It's up to you guys. We could start at 3 too if you thought it was too long.
Anything works for me.
Probably get by without my afternoon nap.
Just take it at noon, you'll be fine.
No one said you had to skip it. Okay, so is there a motion to set this for March 4 at 2 o'clock?
So moved.
Motion by Brick, to set the meet retreat for March 4th at 2 PM here at City Hall. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Neil.
That's the Wednesday, yeah, that'll be fine. Be fine.
Okay. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Okay. Would we like to do an all boards meeting again this year? I'm in favor. My only thought is, should we switch it up? We've done the Legion the last few years. Should we do the brewery this year?
You could.
Food's better at the, well, they're more, not better. They're different options at the Legion. They have more traditional foods.
You also have to pay for a room to rent at the brewery, and you do not at the Legion.
There's that.
Well, I'm open to anything.
If we go later in the year, we could do it at the new park shelter or something,
Ooh, that's not a bad idea.
just to,
What was that?
we could do it at the new park shelter if we go when it's later in the year, when it's warmer out.
Yeah.
What are we talking?
The all board meeting?
Yeah.
We do? Megan suggested if we do it later in the year, we could do it at the new park shelter, the Ampey shelter.
Do we have seating for 30 people there?
I think that, I mean, if nothing else, we could use the same stuff that we use when we do like the work appreciation at veterans, maybe? Those tables and chairs and things, right?
How many spots do we have to sit out there at Ampey? Do we know?
We can move picnic tables anytime you choose.
Okay.
We can bring them in from other locations.
Okay. I like that thought.
Okay,
So let's do it in like May or June out at Ampey then.
okay.
Do you want us to pick a day, Jen, or do you want to send us some different dates that might work?
I'm just really concerned about June because nobody came last time. That's why I think people do not want to do it in the summer. So I think if you're going to do it then, you either have to do it before it gets nice or in the fall.
Yeah. Do it before school gets out. So,
Sometime in May?
There, though, you're worried about weather. There's no protection there. You're under pergola. So, I'm just saying, we have all these people coming and it's raining. How do you get a hold of them and say it's going to be canceled or postponed or moved or, and it has to be posted. So, not to be a bearer of bad news, but when you're doing something outdoors like that,
Yeah.
be a little cautious.
With posting it, could we have, like a secondary location? And then we can just have, if people are coming, have them give us their, we could have like a group blast if something goes wrong and say like, hey, come over here instead, group text. I mean, if we make people aware in the beginning that there is a secondary location in case of weather, I think people know if it's, raining or not. You would think, anyway.
I think if you want to keep it, the idea of having out somewhat outdoors, there's always Veterans Park Shelter, which would probably hold everyone
Yeah.
as a secondary.
Yeah.
Is there a day in June or May?
That's,
It would be wide open then because we're not worried about anybody else's like meeting space or anything.
yeah.
Thursday, the 14th.
Works for me.
Okay.
That's the second Thursday the library board meets then.
Perfect. Then we'll have at least them to attend.
True.
What time are you looking at?
6 to 7:30.
That's when we generally have it, yeah.
I mean, you're on that board, Megan. Do they need to, should we schedule around them?
We do meet earlier. Usually our library board meetings are at 5, just for, we have certain members who have early bedtimes at their house with small children. But for a special occasion, I think it would be okay, or, if not, we could talk
Well,
about
if you
it, I
meet at
guess.
5, an all-board meeting at 6 should be fine.
Yeah.
We'll force everyone to exercise brevity.
So Thursday, May 14th, 6 to 7:30, Happy Park, back up of Veterans Park.
Yep.
Perfect.
Megan, is that a motion?
Yes, so moved.
Motion by Brick to have an all-board meeting on Thursday, May 14th at 6 o'clock at Ampey Park with a backup at Veterans. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Thielen. Any other comments or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion carries. All right, our bond review is pulled from the agenda because Tarek's not here tonight. So on to Dan with the snow pusher.
I solicited 2 bids for the snow pusher. They're in your packet. I recommend the lower one from Arnold's. The reason we need a snow pusher, you know, a lot of snow movers use snow pushers. They're a valuable tool. We have a lot of large asphalt areas, the green roof, the liquor store, the airport, and a few other spots that it would really shave a lot of time for us to have a pusher rather than a plow, because you're moving the snow out rather than just moving it over and over and over. Especially between the hangars at the airport where you can't push it to the side, you gotta move it out. Would save a lot of time there. This pusher is a pretty unique pusher. It has 30-inch panels. They move independently. So rather than when you go through a lot and you catch a manhole or something that's gonna stop you dead or it's gonna break a piece off, this will flex, and it'll flex with the asphalt also, and you have a clean. This will make our loader more versatile, so we can use a bucket or we can use a pusher because it's a quick connect, Fusion quick connect. You can drop it, pick it up. And next year, if all goes right, which it seems to be headed that way, we'll have another loader for out at the airport with a wing and a plow. So if we're using that out there and we're using the pusher out there, it'll kind of invite us to be able to share both ways.
I have one question with that there. Why wasn't it done in smoke?
Because I didn't believe anybody here could have that product.
I went to go with Arctic only though?
I went with that specific product because it's the only one that has those 30-inch panels that move.
Oh, I was just looking like go with that route because it's such a more expensive. But
It is more expensive than a straight one, but the straight ones, like I said,
you
you,
can run, when you're running that, there, you know, 2 individual packages also versus having a straight one. A lot of people you just have 8. You guys went 14, but you're running with, correct?
14-foot, yep.
So then you have the parallel 2 sevens on there with the one. You
Right.
can really bring it.
So I will say this isn't a public hearing. We're going to move on with business. I know there were some questions, Dan, about why you thought these were good. There might be other options out there. Can you just elaborate for the council then why you think this is best to fit our needs compared to some of the other things that might be out there?
Yeah, somebody else asking why.
Right, it has 30-inch panels, they move independently. For other pushers, you know, you have the outside feet that you rely on to move. Maybe if it's a 14-footer, you have another foot in there. So they move, but it doesn't move as independently and is over as a different terrain that this pusher.
Yeah, they're a beautiful design.
No.
Arctic makes-
Neil, what did Public Works think about this? DJ, I'm going to cut you off just because this isn't a public hearing, so.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yep, sorry.
Public Works recommended the one from St. Martin for 18,000.
Okay, was there discussion about doing something else or other alternatives?
No, we did question local, and I think with A&C couldn't get the product that we're looking for.
I saw a head nod, I think, from Dan about that, so,
Yeah.
okay.
The recommendation was St. Martin for the 18,000. And funds to come from street CIP.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we could have gotten something for a lot cheaper, that's maybe as good, but from what I'm hearing from you, Dan, is that this is what we need. This is gonna be the best option with 30-inch panels and adjustments, and things like that.
It'll last 20 years.
Yeah. So, I'm quite happy with how plowing's gone this year. I think we've gotten to a great start, with a brand-new crew and new equipment, things like that. Yeah, there were a couple of hiccups, but I think a hiccup would be probably as worst as I could describe it. I don't have any serious complaints that I've heard from anyone or from my experience, so, I'm learning to trust you on this and go with it. I think you haven't let us down in plowing, so I'm good with it.
If we made it through with no complaints, that would be a miracle.
Yeah.
Right, and in fact, we even got a compliment sent to our Facebook page, so for somebody to take to Facebook and send a compliment, that means a thing or two, so.
Alert the Vatican.
Alert the Vatican.
Yeah, I'll move to approve the purchase of a new Arctic 14-foot sectional snow pusher from Arnold's of St. Martin in the amount of $18,000 with funds to come from street CIP.
Motion by Brick, as stated on the action sheet, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Hersberg, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, motion carries. All right. Who wants to be the mayor when I can't do it this year?
Neil does.
Neil does?
All right, Neil.
I'll do it one more year if you want me to.
Sounds good.
I think it'd be easier than switching it up. But, I mean, we can do that after elections if necessary. He's got seniority, he should do it. So I will move to elect Neil Hersberg as mayor pro tem.
Motion by Brick to elect Neil Hersberg as mayor pro tem. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Potter. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. All right. Do we want to keep depositing our money in the same spots, people?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone want to move Resolution 26-01 regarding the deposits of funds at Perennial Bank, Magnify, and BMO?
I'll move to approve that resolution.
Motion by Brick for Resolution 2601. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Thielen. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Right. Ordinance number 61, third series, amending Chapter 2 by deleting the Wellhead Protection Board and amending the Public Works Board. I guess I'm giving the public update on this, but essentially what it is the Wellhead Board hasn't met in what? 74 years, give or take?
Last time we met was 2020.
2020 was the last time they met.
It feels like 74 years ago.
Oh, that feels like-
2020?
So the recommendation in talking with Dan and everyone is let's just get rid of the board and incorporate those duties into the Public Works Board. And that's what this ordinance amendment does here.
Okay.
This did not go through policies and procedures. I just didn't think it was necessary.
So we're really not formally approving it tonight. You're.
Thank you. We're posting
you need
it
to
tonight.
post it because we did not meet the 10-day posting requirement from the date that I got this. So
Mm-hmm.
it will end up on policies and procedures as a formality.
Okay.
On the 14th, but I will need, if you want to do this, everybody wants to, disband the wellhead, we would go forward with formal approval at the end of the month.
Okay.
Any concerns? I won't say speak now or forever hold your peace, but now would be a good time to save us money. Okay.
I think it's fine, whatever that it was that they needed to do, since it hasn't been done in, 6 years, it could be, if it does come up, the Public Works Board can handle it.
I've been trying to clean up boards since
I know.
Oh, I got a
Golly, it
question.
might actually happen.
Are there funds in that, that board, CIP funds? There isn't?
No, the boards don't have funds.
Well,
It says the EDIC board.
Okay, so, yeah, I heard, if I remember right, we were at a meeting in, here, and there was some funds that were available for anyone who was worried about their wellheads.
So that's a grant for well sealing. I would defer that to Dan.
Okay. All right.
That makes sense.
Do we need a motion on this, Jen, or can you just publish it?
I can publish it as long as there's nothing that says you don't want to go forward with disbanding about it.
Let's go. Nobody's objecting. Okay, we have now page 69, which is same thing. We would be dissolving the environmental board and amending the park and tree board. This one bites my chaps a little bit because I like the environmental board. That being said, that board has one very active member who is involved in all of the things that that board does. There's another member who reliably shows up to all of the meetings and expresses concerns and things like that. But overall, that board doesn't do anything. And despite my best efforts to come up with ideas and things for them to do, they're not interested in it. What they've taken to doing is planning the cleanup. And by planning the cleanup, I mean Dan plans the cleanup. And the board says, yes, Dan, what you're doing sounds pretty good. Let's go forward with it. In talking to Dan and things like that, I think the best thing to do would be to eliminate the environmental board, but to amend the park and tree board makeup so that Bev Oz, who's been dutifully dedicated to the environmental board since it was founded, can step into the park and tree board and continue doing what she does, because she is a very good voice on that board. I don't want to lose it.
Yes.
But, I mean, otherwise we just meet only to say that we don't have a quorum, and then everyone just goes away annoyed.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea. I think when that board was founded, there were a lot of things related to environmental pursuits that were not like as mainstream. But I think that now they are. I think that the park board is more than capable of dealing with a lot of those things. And I think a lot of the things that come up for the environmental board would naturally work really well with Park and Tree. And I agree with definitely not losing Bev. She's been great, so I would move to proceed with that posting.
All right, there's a motion by Brick to pursue the posting for the ordinance amendment. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Hersberg. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. All right. City administrator's historically been our data practices compliance person. Do we want to continue with that? If so, I'd entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2602.
Move to approve that resolution.
Motion by Brick to approve Resolution 2602. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Potter. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. All right, Resolution 2605, check signing procedures. 2 signatures per check, the mayor or the mayor pro tem, along with the city admin or the city treasurer. It's the way it's been in years past. Are we good with continuing that? If so, I'd entertain a motion for Resolution 2605.
Have we ever had the stated emergency situation? I just wondered. I've never thought about it before.
We had a pandemic when we had COVID and we were in the state of emergency.
When we used that, the Fastmail signature and the live signature? Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And
when
it-
I would think it would be used.
It otherwise sometimes happens when, like if we have an airport fuel check, there's a discount if that gets paid right away. And
yeah.
if, like myself or Neil can't get down here in time, then Tarek can sign it and then they can stamp my signature.
Okay.
So it happens, but it's not frequent.
Okay. I'll move to approve Resolution 2026-05 regarding check signing authority and procedures.
Motion by Brick, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Thielen, any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion carries. All right, we have a council meeting over Memorial Day. Generally, we bump it to the day after, which is May 26th this year. Anyone want to make that motion, or do we just want to cancel that meeting?
I'll make the motion to reschedule the May council meeting to Monday, from Monday, May 25th, 2026 to Tuesday, May 26th, 2026.
The motion to reschedule that meeting from Monday to Tuesday to comply with the holiday, is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Brick. All those, or any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Resolution 2603, CD Savings Money Market Accounts. Can only be redeemed or issued under the direction of the mayor, treasurer, and the city admin. Again, this is carryover from what we've done in the past. It's worked well.
I'll move to approve Resolution 2026-03 regarding certificate of deposit, savings accounts, and money market accounts.
Motion by Brick to approve Resolution 2603. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Hersberg. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? None. Motion carries. Resolution 2604, again, annual resolution allowing for the wire and automated bank payments.
I'll move to approve Resolution 2026-04 allowing wire/automated bank payments.
Motion by Burke, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Potter. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Our fee schedule. Can anybody tell me what, if anything, changed on here from last year?
So the only thing that's been updated on the fee schedule is the utility bill, the rates, and those charges that were approved in the December meeting, according to that resolution. But the next action item will amend this, so it's easier for you to see than trying to look through this whole schedule.
Okay, well, that would make things easier then.
I'll move to approve the 2026 fee schedule.
Motion by Brick to approve the fee schedule. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Hersberg. Any further discussion?
I do have one item. And I think we maybe talked about a little bit, maybe now ain't the time, or downtown parking for next year. I forget what channel I was watching, but there was a city that for your downtown parking, the first violation for like 10 days, or instead of a $15 charge, they were to contribute to the Christmas gift that the city does for a needy family. And I would like to implement that instead of the fee.
Thank you
I don't know
for,
if this would be the time or how we can do that.
I think, Jen, wouldn't that make most sense to go to our policies and procedures? Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do that. Thank you for reminding me about that, Neil. I forgot about it after you talked to me.
Interesting. Be harder to complain about, honestly.
Well, and it's, I know, it's just a little bit nicer, I guess.
Yeah, that is nice. That's really nice.
Any further discussion then on the fee schedule? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? None? Motion carries. Resolution 2606, amending that same schedule, but with the increased amounts for the public works staff and the operators, things like that.
So note that the public works staff is an increase just because wages are adjusted, as well as the building official, but the other ones are all new. And the reason we have to adopt those new fees is because of the airport M&O. They want actual costs for the use of those equipment.
Fair enough. What are we talking about as far as amounts? Or,
So for instance, you'd be setting the fee on a 1 ton with plow is $110 per hour, which includes the operator. And so Dan did a bunch of research and came up with these figures.
Okay.
These would be new figures to the fee schedule.
okay,
The only ones that are increasing are the building inspector fees and the public works personnel fees.
okay,
They're already in the fee schedule.
all right,
The other ones would all be new.
okay, thank you. That makes sense. So I will move to approve Resolution 2026 amending license and fee schedule.
Motion by Brick, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Potter. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion carries. Council member appointments for the upcoming year. Let me talk about this before everyone gets in the stink. There was a request to change some council member appointments. You'll see on here that I'm recommending no. It's not because I didn't think about it. I asked Jen for the list. I putzed around with it for a while. I looked at it, thought back and forth. And ultimately, the reason why I decided that we should keep things the same is that I don't think it's any secret to this council, I'm not running for reelection, so you all will have a new mayor next year. Neil may or may not run, I guess that's up to him. Paul, you may or may not run, I don't know. But the possibility exists, however remote, that there will be 3 new members on the board, or on the council next year. In addition to that, we have a Public Works Board that has a new member and has lost some longtime members on it.
We're losing 3 EDAP members.
And we're losing 3 EDAT members. So with all of the transitions, I thought it most appropriate that we maintain the stability of the council members who are there, just to help sort of get things along through the next year while everyone gets their feet wet and what's going on. So it wasn't to disregard anybody's like that. I did give it serious thought, and that's why I landed the way I did. If you want to switch spots with Neil and he's good for it, I'm not going to oppose, but this is my recommendation.
And it makes sense.
So, yeah, that's,
So we can leave it as it is.
I'm taking that as a motion to approve the 26-member board committee and weed inspector appointments by Councilmember Thielen. Yes?
Yes.
All right, is there a second to that?
Second.
Second by Hersberg. Any further discussion? I would note, I rely heavily on the public works staff for the weed inspectors.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan, appreciate you. All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. All right, 26 city board member appointments. So looking on here, we have a vacancy on the EDAT board for the city attorney representative. Tarek is talking with some people on engaging their interest. I'm hoping he can find someone. I do know that Chris Stanley had somebody from Magnify who would be willing. I threw out another couple of names that were maybe a little bit more local for him to talk to, so.
Did the other 2 find their successors? Do you know?
I don't.
Okay. I think, I know for sure that one did. I know one person that'll be joining, but I just wasn't sure about the other, I guess.
Delco has been, they've put Dave Johnson on it. So
Yes.
that is listed. And I have sent an email to all 3 township supervisors. And we need their assignments and that need to appoint somebody.
Okay. We'll just appoint them officially at a later meeting.
We also have a vacancy on the planning board.
We do now. So,
Yep.
That's one that just came about as of tonight. So if anybody has any interest in serving on the planning board, dealing with zoning issues and things like that, please step up. Historically, the spot that's being vacated has been filled by somebody with some construction experience. So if there's anybody who's interested and has that experience, let me know.
I have a good candidate I can talk to you after the meeting.
Perfect. There's also, if anybody wants to be on the Joint Airport Zoning Board, which hasn't met probably since pre-2020.
No, they meet annually.
Oh, does that one meet annually? Okay.
Fun.
So you get 1 meeting a year just to appoint new representatives. It's super fun.
Which usually stays the same.
Yep.
Well, hey.
So, all right.
And has anybody reached out to Bev if she wants to serve on this?
She does.
Yeah.
I ran into her at a funeral a month and a half or so ago.
So do you want to add her then to this list? Because I did not, because I didn't even know if she was.
Oh, sure.
So under Park and Tree, do you want to add Bev?
Just find
On
it.
page 97?
Yep. So with that, I would recommend the appointments with the addition of Bev Oz as the vacancy on the Park and Tree Board. Somebody wants to make that motion?
So moved.
Motion by Brick to approve the appointments with Bev Oz filling the vacancy on Park and Tree. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Thielen. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. We have our informational reports at the end, as well as I knew I had my computer open for another reason here. Let me get to it. I did get some city council, or some citizen comments earlier today. Looked like they might have been addressed to everybody, but it also looked like it might not, so. So this is from former Mayor Jeff Thompson, Tarek, Mayor Sean, and councilors. Full disclosure that these are my personal comments, not on behalf of the Painesville Lions. I recall writing similar comments just a couple of years ago. The Painesville Lions are obviously not the largest contributor to or part of the city of Painesville, though over the years, the club's contributions have amounted to quite a bit. The gazebo in Gazebo Park, the shelter that was moved from the rest stop by the driving range to Community Park, the downtown bathrooms, sizable contributions to the city picnic shelters at Veterans Park and Ampey Park. Additionally, construction, startup, and continuing support of the Green Roof Center building was supported by the Painesville Lions. The Painesville Historical Society Museum receives annual support, as do the Crow River Trail Guards. The Painesville Area Community Service Center building was mainly built using Painesville and nearby Lions Club funds, including a large grant from the Lions Club International Foundation. Members provide volunteer hours to various community services, including helping the Green Roof/Rose Center with holiday meal deliveries to seniors and shut-ins, Highway 55 ditch cleanup, free youth vision screenings at schools and other venues, warming spots at Moonlight Meander, and grilling at Night to Unite. All this with Lions members actually paying dues to provide community support and service. It was interesting to me to note, reading through the list of city staff and volunteers in the January 12th agenda, only 3 names, Doris Wentland, Jacob Bertram, and Joe Voss, cross over as current Painesville Lion Club members. If nothing else, please be sure to thank them for their double support to the city and community. Jeff Thompson. So that was a letter from Jeff. For those of you who may not know, find it hard to believe, but Jeff is an avid Lions Club member, firmly believes in the mission of that group, and if anybody has a desire to serve, that's another great area in the community with which to serve.
It really is. It would be nice if somebody from the city could take it up, but Tarek and I both had previously, but it's just not possible right now with, Tarek, I think, dropped it when he joined the Legion, and it's just not possible for me right now. But it is a fantastic organization, and Jeff has been a great steward of it, and it would be really nice if some other members could join.
Would. Great. With that, we stand adjourned. Thanks, everyone.